Hey there, my name is Raymond and I'm the founder of Synscribe. We are hiring our first software engineer. And this video is really to show you, who we are hiring and what are some of the exciting things that you get to do here, right? Because if you head over to our website, it looks like, oh, you are going in, this Synscribe is actually a software agents, SEO agency. And who wants to work in a SEO agency if you are a great software engineer? The answer is not you, not me, right? Not anyone. But we have to position it as such, in front of our potential customers so that they understand what we are doing, right? So the purpose of this video really is to show you, what we do, some of the fun things that we get to do, some of the big problems that we are facing, and you get to be chance of, you get to be a part of to kind of like understand, fix some of these things, and get us to where we want to be. Let's start off with the customers that we surface, because, at the end, these are the people that pays us, right? So let's start off with basically we serve, high growth startups and company, mostly post product market fit, and B2B, business to business and global in nature. A lot of them are, post revenue and are in the 500,000 annual recurring revenue onwards, right? And, the thing that, and we have been on this for close to a year right now. And, we have been iterating on things, but here's some of the results that we have for some of our clients, right? And it's also what set us apart from everyone else, right? And you can see it from, from the service delivery point of view, and you can see it from the scalability point of view. The first thing is that we are starting to see the difference between SEO traditionally from ranking Google, and also GOAEO on ranking on AI search stuff like on ChatGPT and stuff. Some of our clients get leads as fast as 3 days when we publish something for them. It gets ranked on Google, it gets them on ChatGPT, and then they get their first leads in just 3 days after us publishing some stuff. The LLM impact, is also much larger than traditional search, not in the absolute number terms, but in the quality, terms, right? So we are getting almost 2 times the number of leads, on new businesses. They could be getting 200 leads, coming in, or clicks coming in from ChatGPT and 100 from Google, just like 1 or 2 months in. And, generally we see also 2 to 4x conversion. They're more likely to buy, because think, why would people, click through on ChatGPT when they could just stay there? And, the process that we have, the tools allow us to also be 10 times more efficient than traditional SEO agencies, right? And, if you'd like to find out a little bit more about what we do for our customers, click on our case studies. There's a few of them. We didn't feature all of them simply because, we just haven't had time to just, cover all of them. Some of the, products that we have, currently, right? You don't actually see them on our website simply because we haven't been publishing, our products or our platform, because we are more an agency to other people than a tool or, a SaaS, in that sense. But, these are some of the tools that you are building, you will work with and build. And we position ourselves as the best in class, for various things. So one of the things that you see is for keyword planning. So, companies that would like to, let's say, let me see if I can get that. Okay. So, we have a keyword planning tool that allows, companies, right now our own operators, to basically, help, basically plan out what they want to target in the next, 1 month or so, right? And then create content, based on those keywords that we want to target. These are actually AI suggested, based on, search results and the direction of the companies and, what we want to achieve for the company, right? Then we can, accept, reject, or send it to our, content writer that, does it automatically, right? AI content writer, by the way. So it's yet another AI agent, and then create also landing pages for all these things, right? And then at the end of the month, we would also allow us to kind of check the rank on all these things. So in practice, this looks really neat when we can actually have a plan, execute on it, and actually check back on the results and actually learn from it. So, that's our keyword planning tool. Something, you can also learn, a little bit more about it here. So one of the things that, we are starting to do more of now is to showcase, our products in front of customers, even though right now it's not available to them directly. It's only for early access. So this first page over here on the products would actually show you me walking through some of this product in depth. The other pages are more placeholder pages. I'm going to replace some of these things already. Some other things is also competitor research. We are able to research on many competitors, their keywords, what are doing well for them, and actually plan, our research and our strategy according to it. We have things such as like social listening to basically dissect, let's say a Reddit post and create content idea of it. There's a huge module on automatic link building. Every time we search for certain things, every time we find companies adjacent or in competition with our client's company, we actually send them an email to kind of like collaborate and all of that. And that is also done by an AI agent as well. There is a content writing module that basically research very deeply into a topic. I can show you an example over here very quickly. So let's say we go into content library. Some examples on the published ones, for instance, how to advertise on ChatGPT, right? What happened is that when we create the content, the AI agent actually go, find related discussions. For instance, this Reddit thread, look at some of the discussion over there, make what recommendations or suggestions people are giving to one another, keywords, topics, things that we can potentially write about as well, right, on those topics, and then like synthesize them and build them into like content. At the same time, it also researches on like the topic very deeply, so we pull out certain stats and important information about those things. And finally, then we go into content creation. And even then, content creation, there's multiple things in the pipeline that actually makes it a great content, like for instance, introducing citation, adding FAQ at the end of the content, adding like summary sections, adding, let's say, call to action, images and sections, right? So you'll be building on all these pipelines over here that creates like the best in class content in that sense. And we also do landing page generations, right? So take, for instance, if you search for, let's say, SOC 2 compliant chatbot, one of my favorite example here, right? You can see, like, for instance, when you check here, this page is programmatically generated, right? What we have is, so this is like money chat. We can create hundreds of pages by just entering the keywords, and then it will create for us like the data that is necessary for creating this page over here, right? So this is our platform that we use to create those things. Something really fun here is that we get to explore various different kind of like creation. For instance, for this company, let's try maybe whatever is in this financial services. Yeah, this could be fun. So giving you example here, financial services. When you go here, right, this image is actually dynamically generated by the landing page generator without using things like Nano Banana and all, right? We are using a structured data to create like images for these things, right? And we are getting quite a bit of like success with this as well. So you'll be working on a lot of these fun things, and these are our current capabilities already, right? So if you'd like to see more about all this thing, the first one is actually just the keyword platform, which will give you sufficient depth into like what kind of products we'll be building. We will be introducing more in due time, right? Maybe by the time you watch this video, we would have already cleaned up on some of these new features that we have. So what are the exciting things that you would be working on? So the first and the most important thing is the next generation of like SEO agency as a service, right? And we are trying to replace the entire human and consultant stack rather than just tools, right? If you look at SEO tools right now, there are things like Ahrefs, SEMrush, and the bulk of it, but a lot of them requires a high level of knowledge to even operate and understand those things. And what we want to do is to close the gap on delivering on the outcome and lowering the barrier of entry so that it's not just SEO specialists that understands it. And we actually get a largest part of the value stack because we are owning the outcome rather than just like, hey, here's a tool that can help you do certain things, but you don't know realistically how much ROI you are going to get out of that tool. One of the other things is that you'll be forward deployed. So, because we work very closely with founders and engineers of their companies, you actually can implement change across other startups as well, and to maintain a very tight feedback loop on our process and the tech, implementation and alignment. So any key issues, any things that's going to block us, we uncover them as early as possible. And that also makes us one of the fastest, one of the most effective agency at this point in time, because we can enact change just like that, because we are the only one with actual engineers who can do all of those things. Our current platform does all of those things already. You have taken a quick look at that. But here's what excites me, right? So the challenge in the next platform is number one, output quality at scale, right? We are going to look into, putting in LLM charge evals, and how can we have human in the loop without overwhelming humans, right? The issue right now with a lot of AI product, if there are any that are at the stage, is that they impose a lot of work onto the human. How can we, eliminate that and only put human onto the most important things? Another one is on formalized skills. How can we have an AI agent that replicate the best as your consultants, and then we can scale indefinitely, right? And we want to equip it with the best-in-class tools, which we are already developing. We have access to some of those things. How can we get it to plan and execute longitudinally, right? Because that is a huge problem because of things like context rods and stuff, right? How can we make sure we have success month on month? How can we align on something over a multi-month period, right? How can you get it to self-improve and learn from executed results? For instance, they thought certain things would work, we execute on it, it's half right. How can we get the other half right? Or how can we form another hypothesis on how can we, close the gaps there? And finally, also, how does this AI agent work with human in the process without overwhelming the human, right? That's a big thing. A lot of time when we first started off, we, say we can, do like 40 pages, 60 pages. But the problem is that human is the bottleneck here. And we want to see how we can, remove the, the AI interaction fatigue from human as well. Finally, also very some existential problems like Ouroboros or the model collapse problem, where when you're creating a lot of things, like what if you consume your own things and then you just work on trash, right? So there are problems associated with like which are the core information, or which are the core things that needs to be created by the founders or the team or us or humans, right? And can we have our retrieval strategies to augment some of these things, right? The next thing is basically changing it as an agency as a service. It's a little bit more on the UX layer, but this is also very important because you want to make sure that people can actually self-service as much as possible, so that we recruit fewer people with less competency variance on, let's say, the the research specialists, the SEO specialists. And another big problem is on the ecosystem building. How can we get one client to help with another client, especially things on like link building and so on. Another big problem is how can we actually leverage on the human, right? How can we have the model self-improve based on what human operators or experts do, right? And provide better service. If you like to see like the really big picture aspects of this, right? We have written an article. Again, this is written by AI, but under my directions, on like why replacing agencies is a bigger bet than building tools. A little bit into the tech stack. Right now we work on Next.js. Our back-end persistent or rather durable execution layer is trigger.dev. Model-wise, on the AI structured data and AI, SDK is LangChain, and on the agentic layer, LangGraph Mistral. We have our own orchestration layer on top of this called Cyclonic, that basically help us kind of place human in the loop and have a better design around those things. So some of the advanced topic that we get to, the good problems that we have are related to things like AI agents, evals, RAG, human in the loop design, right? These are things that we consider, that we think about during our design, and we consistently get feedback when we are actually also the one using our platform and operating it. And that's how we actually, move and move very, very fast in this space. In terms of culture, right, as I've mentioned, this is going to be like the first engineers on the team, right? We are a very small team right now of 3 people, and we are growing rather fast. And we are at the point where it's a culture defining moment over here. So it's very important for me to hire the right people. And being part of this also means that you are defining the culture moving forth. So I'm setting a very high bar in terms of culture in that sense. So the first one is that I expect you to have high sense of ownership over the thing, having a lot of care in what you do, care about your customers, care about your craft, care about your colleagues, care about basically the space in general, right? You are expected to also be an independent learner, right? Of course, there would be people in this space, right? Because we are going to hire only the best people in this space, right? So you can learn from each other, learn from me, right? But the same way as I'm expected to learn from you as well, right? You are expected to bring new knowledge into the space, and to lead everyone in terms of knowledge as well. Another one is, we are highly experimental. A lot of the time, the framework that we use is that you create a hypothesis first on like what you think is going to move the needle, what do you think is going to solve a problem, and then create a spike or experiments to try to do it and validate or invalidate that hypothesis, right? There is very little ego going around here except results, right? So it's not going to be like, just because the boss says or just because Raymond says that this is a great idea, it should be a great idea. It's not, right? Things needs to be proven, and we need to run experiments to do that, right? And another thing is that we try to move to high leverage work as fast as possible. That does not mean that there's less, there is going to be not zero unsexy work, right? But it also means that if you're working on the same unsexy work every now and then, from time to time, right, that you're not moving to the high leverage work, you are not going to succeed in here, right? We are always finding places where there's going to be friction, things that sucks, right? And then we're going to fix it so that we move on to the next sucky thing that is more highly valuable. Lastly, we are AI first company, right? Everything you need, should be done by AI, should be left to be done by AI. The human supervision is to make sure that the AI is doing a great job and continuously improve, and to see how can we make the process better, right? In that sense. Caveat here is that the ideal candidate will not be using AI as a crutch. That means to say, if all the AI services were to go down tomorrow, right, it should not forbid you from delivering the services, right? And that is very important, because that also means that you truly understand your craft, you truly understand how to do things. Here's some must-have skills of quality, and there is 0 exceptions on here, right? The moment you do not possess one or more of this, you're not a candidate, you're not a fit for us. The first thing is you're familiar with an AI coding platform. I use Claude Code and Cursor personally. I do prefer that people use Claude Code so that we can actually, kind of improve on the skills, together. And, Cursor and Codex could be a great help anyway. Next thing is that you should be deeply familiar with TypeScript and not just JavaScript and slapping on any for all the types, right? Simple understanding of like generics and all should be expected. We work on Next.js, so you should know the intricacies of Next.js. For instance, server-side rendering, server-side execution, durable functions, what's the limitations on execution timing, all of these things, right? At least know how to work on Next.js. You should also possess or have worked on at least one project with structured data, with LLM, and or prompt engineering, right? So it could be your weekend spike, you learn about something, you try it out. If you have not experimented with LLM, this is not the role for you, right? You can experiment it and then we talk about it. The last thing is that we are expected to have a certain level of craftsmanship. By that is that you are very proud of like what you have created. You aim to do better and be the top of be the best person in your craft, right? It's something that is very hard to assess, but that will be one of our main assessment criteria, and also the culture that we want to create. Some good to have, if you have been creating things like blogs, open source projects, and especially the ones on AI, that would be great. If you have prompt engineering experiences, expertise, that would be great. If you have a evaluation, AI eval experience, that would be great too, right? And not just the positive qualities. Here are some of the negative ones that if you possess, it's unlikely you're going to thrive here. Number one, you need someone to handhold you, right? We don't do handholding here. Everyone has their own responsibility, and we try to take on huge problems to solve, right? So if you have very specific problems that you think someone can help you with, sure, but then you are responsible for your own success, right? So no handholding over here. The next thing, one way to tell if you are gonna even be a fit is that go look in the last 2 weeks, 2 months, if you have learned something new or tried anything new. Because if you haven't, you're not going to be a fit. Specifically, if you are going to read, watch or fantasize, based on YouTube videos and not have done your own experiments, you're not going to be a fit. And, that's going to be part of the interview process as well. So we can suss that out rather quickly. And if you can, although I did mention that we are AI first, if you cannot work without an AI, or that AI has become a crutch for you and not an exoskeleton, that's going to be an issue. You will not fit in here. And one way to tell when you are at the peak or at the edge of things, you start to find out what's the limitations of AI, what it can or cannot do, right? If you don't know, if you don't have a feel around like where are the limitations of it right now, you're unlikely going to be a fit too, right? Another very telltale sign, if you have been doing something in the last 1 month as the month before, whether it's professionally or in your personal life, you're unlikely going to be a fit. We move very, very fast over here. And a lot of the problems that we face are different from month to month, simply because we have solved those problems and we move on to net new valuable problems, right? And lastly, on the, because we are a very small team, right, there is going to be dirty work going around. And I also pick up on the dirty work, right? And if you think that you're going to be too senior to do any of the dirty work, then, you're also not a fit, because this is how it looks like. Someone have to pick up the slack. If it's not you, it's going to be me. And, I couldn't possibly have, someone hired in not to do some of these things that are very important, but needs to be done. The whole idea here is that do the dirty work and then figure out how to automate it. Okay, so I think over here you have a good idea around like what we do, what am I really excited about, and a little bit on like what makes you succeed, what makes you not succeed. The role here is quite open. We have availability from junior role all the way through senior role. All of these are individual contributor roles. There's no place for any managers right now, and I don't foresee it for a period of time, right? Because we are going with very high agency individuals over here. Okay, so this gives you a very good idea around the project. And if this excites you, feel free to send us an application. Happy to review your work over here.